Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wahara Kwakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, many blessings and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the house of David, the Bayaf Dawadah, for whom these epistles are written for in these last days. Shalom to the elect. So, I just wanted to play a couple of clips. Fair use YouTube, fair use YouTube, fair use. This is for educational purposes, okay? And, just so we don't run afoul with YouTube, but they're going to run afoul with us anyway. So you know how it goes. And that's why I'm going to bring this scripture out. This is 1 Peter 5:8. It says, be sober and be vigilant, okay? Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. That's right. So he is setting up a system, which these couple of clips are going to go into. He's setting up a system where it's going to be inescapable. Okay, it's going to be basically if you don't come online to his system or sign into his system, or meaning accept him as your new ruler, okay, your permanent ruler, then you will be frozen out of the system altogether, and therefore you won't be able to eat, drink, pay your rent, go to work, drive a car, raise your children. You won't be able to do anything. You'll be frozen out of the entire system. That's why I brought that scripture out. Let's read that. Let's read that again. 1 Peter 5:8, Salakia. It says, be sober, right? So you want to be sober physically too, but mentally, yes, you want to be completely sober. Understand who you're dealing with. Okay, we use the word as not to abuse it, but we understand where we are. And we understand at some point there's going to come a time where we're going to have to pretty much forsake everything in this captivity. Okay? Salakia. It says, be sober, be vigilant. It says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And this system is seeking to devour the entire earth. Okay? This entire system is going to be is going to be implemented worldwide, and you will not, unless you are of the elect. Okay, there is no escape. Okay, the elect are covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai, and that's what we're seeking to be a part of, right? So let's go to 2 Corinthians 2:11, and we'll start playing this lesson. Okay, this is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And this is the major device. Now, he has come with many different smaller cases or whatever, but he's been at war with us since we left out of Egypt, man. OK, Esau always hated us, man. All right. So it's on us. All right. To, slacking. Let me slow down. It's on the Lord has have the spirit on you, okay, for you to be able to see through the greasiness, which is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, he's a greasy devil, and he's always looking to upset. All right, to bring us down out of that spiritual mindset. He wants us to play on his playing field, right? Let's get Let's get Sirach 12. I ain't got that in a while. This is Sirach 12:10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. That's right. So he's going to eventually show you that this system was never set up for, like they're trying to sell it as some type of salvation for the entire world, which it goes into their Christianity. Well, what they tried to push in Christianity, they didn't know that shit didn't work. So now they're going to push this new technology, all right, as the new salvation. OK, that's why Gerard Navari, OK, and all his cohorts, OK, Gil Bates and all these guys, they're pushing nothing but wickedness, OK, to the entire earth, and they're selling their salvation, as we're going to see in these couple of clips. OK, so I pray that this is edifying. Fair use.
Soon you will be able to pay for groceries at every Whole Foods in the U.S. with just a swipe of your hand. Amazon says that the Pay by Palm technology will be at all of those stores nationwide by the end of the year. Customers just have to hover their hand over the device to pay. This method is already being used at 200 Whole Foods locations across 20 states, and you can also find it in other places, stores like Panera Bread. Hardware editor at TechCrunch, Brian Heater, joins us now. Brian, let's just start off. Tell us how this technology works.
Sure. So in terms of the actual enrollment process, the first time you go to one of these Amazon One locations, you wave your hand over it. That will enroll you in the program, and then you associate that with a credit card that you have on file. In terms of the actual underlying technology behind it, it's not actually getting a read of the palm itself, which, I think is what most people expect. It's actually taking a look at the vein patterns underneath your hands, which Amazon is effectively saying is a way to do this kind of biometric identification without actually giving any identifying information away.
That's fascinating. I mean, I think anybody who hears this story immediately goes to questions about safety, privacy, the data that's being collected. Amazon has been criticized in the past for some of the data that they collect, and whether they have properly notified consumers about that. What safeguards is Amazon taking?
Sure. Well, the primary one is all of this is going through Amazon's cloud servers. So this is encrypted information. Amazon has generally done a good job of protecting privacy through the cloud itself. I think one of the sort of bigger concerns around this specifically is that unlike the biometric data that you're giving on your phone, for example, that's stored locally on the device itself, but this is going up into the cloud. So like theoretically, somebody could potentially.
And that's the thing. That's the thing what it's selling, because now, as we've heard a few times from Harari, stating that the cloud is our new God. Okay, that's what they're storing all this information, but they're storing it for what? Okay, they're storing it for what, right? So we already know what they're storing it for. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." That's right. We're never going to be ignorant of his devices. We understand what the devil's doing here. Okay, that's why our videos and channels or whatever are the same thing. The first one's getting knocked down. Okay, first one's getting knocked down. We already know. Okay, this devil has plans for our destruction. All right. Salakia. All right, so.
Grab that data, but it's intensely difficult.
All right. Very interesting stuff. Brian Heater.
Is a way to do this kind of biometric identification without actually giving any identifying information away.
That's fascinating. I mean, I think anybody who hears this story immediately goes to questions about safety, privacy, the data that's being collected. Amazon has been criticized in the past for some of the data that they collect, and whether they have properly notified consumers about that. What safeguards is Amazon taking?
Sure. Well, the primary one is all of this is going through Amazon's cloud servers. So this is encrypted information. Amazon has generally done a good job of protecting privacy through the cloud itself. I think one of the sort of bigger concerns around this specifically is that unlike the biometric data that you're giving on your phone, for example, that's stored locally on the device itself, but this is going up into the cloud. So like theoretically, somebody could potentially grab that data, but it's intensely difficult.
All right. Very interesting stuff. Brian Heater, thank you.
Yeah, Brian Peter. Let's hear it for him. Anyway, so let's get us Ephesians 6:10. It says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai, and in the power of his might. It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And this right here is nothing but a wile of the devil, man. Okay, we totally understand where this is going. Revelation 13, you already know what it goes into. Revelation 14 is going to be the end result of you doing that. So the point of understanding where we are in Revelation, or in prophecy, okay, is to be able to see things like this and call it out. That's what we're doing. This guy right here, just look at this, the devil on the screen. These guys, man, have no, they want to destroy the earth because they know that their time is almost up. Okay, and they're getting ready to come with great wrath. All right, so they're going to not spare anything or anyone. Okay, they want to hold on to that power seat. They want that birthright back, right? Ephesians 6:11, it says, put on the whole armor of the Most High that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, okay, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, right? It says against spiritual wickedness in high places. This is spiritual wickedness and physical wickedness. To be inserting yourself with some foreign object, okay, which is going to give you all type of, cancers and things of that nature, man. Okay. And that frequency is all right. It's going to, you're killing yourself. Okay. And we are already dying as it is. All right. But guess what though? This devil he's insatiable. Okay. He thinks on day and night how to destroy you. All right. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor. All right. This is Ephesians 6:13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand it in the evil day. It says, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, right? This is the truth that this guy right here, this guy on the screen, this guy's the devil, okay? All right, and all his cohorts, okay? They're all the devil, and they're all in on it. Putin, he's the devil. Okay, Biden, he's a devil. All these guys are the devil, okay? And they're all in cahoots. Now, yeah, they might be infighting amongst them, okay, because that's a part of the curses that was going to hit them too, because the scripture does say, okay, if Satan shall be against Satan, the entire kingdom is going to fall. Okay, I'm paraphrasing. All right, it says Ephesians 6:13 again. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand in the evil day, having done all to stand. Stand therefore, and having your loins girt with truth, girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. That's right. So we're going to have to be courageous in our stance against this whole entire system. And guess what? We're going to get pushback. Guess what? It's going to come with major pushback. And it ain't just going to be from the devil. It's going to be from our own people. Okay. That is written as well. All right. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Okay. Because that's a part of counting the cost. Counting the cost said that you need to figure out that, listen, the people that you standing next to, or those who might call themselves Israelites, or even those who are of your family members, man, they might turn you in. Okay. That's just the way it goes. All right. This is Revelation 2:10. It says, fear none of those things, which this is red letter 2. So this is Yahushua speaking. Revelation 2:10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. That's a promise, and that's red letter. So this basically Yahushua putting his signature on that promise. Okay, and we just got to hold up our end. All right. So it's gonna come with some major tribulation. It's gonna be some mudslinging, okay, as they used to say in the old school. All right, it's gonna be some straight mudslinging. They're gonna talk shit. They're gonna do a lot of that. They're gonna put your mug out there. You feel me? It's gonna suck, but guess what though? It's all for a greater purpose, which is the crown of life. Verse 11, it says, he that have an ear, and let him hear what the Spirit say unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. And what is the second death? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's why we always go into those things, because guess what? They coincide with you taking the MOTB. You take the MOTB, you will eat missiles. Okay, you will eat missiles. Mark my words. It's the Bible, it ain't my words. Mark the words of Yahweh Shemal Shai. You will eat missiles. Okay, you might make it through the famine. You might make it through the money crashing. You might make it through all that stuff. But guess what? In the end, what you gonna have waiting for you? ICBMs. All right.
In your bank account, the Federal Reserve announcing it has gone live with its new FedNow Instant
Fair use.
Payment system, a system that should allow households and businesses to send payments and receive money immediately without those troubling 3-day holds on checks and waiting for payments to clear in the sender's account and waiting for the bank to open on Monday or after a holiday. The FedNow system is an instant payment system. It's available 24/7, 365 days a year. To begin with, 35 banks and 16 service providers have already signed up. Those banks include things like JP Morgan and Wells Fargo, as well as smaller credit unions and other banks. Unclear if the banks are going to charge for this instant payment. They are charged, but they may or may not pass that along to consumers. Fed Chair Jay Powell saying in a press release, over time, as more banks choose to use this tool, the benefits to individuals and businesses will include enabling a person to immediately receive a paycheck or a company to instantly access funds when an invoice is paid. This doesn't eliminate the PayPals and the Venmos of the world or Zelle. Theoretically, they can.
Not yet. Not yet. It won't, but it will, though. It's funny how the guy who created the Cash App all of a sudden just turned up, deleted, okay, by some rando. All right, just all of a sudden that just happened. We don't know anything. He just turned up, deleted, gone. If he is, we don't know.
Use the FedNow system, which is a bank-to-bank system, to send payments, but it's unclear, guys, if those services now face a new challenge from banks of all sizes that can offer similar services. Sarah?
But bottom line, faster payments, good for consumer, right, Steve?
I think so, Sarah. That's exactly right. I think you get there and you don't have those holds on the checks. Mm-hmm. Look, if you have money in your account and you send money to somebody else with an account, obviously they can take that money out, but there's actually a hold on that account. It's really for people who don't have that money on account. Say a small business guy who's doing a big project, gets a payment, has to wait till that payment clears. It could really help them out.
So, yeah, you already know what time it is, man. All right. These devils getting ready to position themselves where they're going to be the saviors of the earth. And they're going to force you into that system, whether you want to or not. OK, and a lot of weak minded people who are not of the elect, ultimately, they're going to choose this system because they're going to see a way out. But we do. Red letter we just read from 2 Corinthians 2:11. We just read from Revelation 2:11. Salakia. OK, that's red letter. All right, the Lord made a promise, and we believe on that promise. Put on the breastplate of righteousness and believe wholeheartedly. Okay, don't half-ass this thing. Trust me, the Lord sees your spirit. Okay, that goes for me and everyone else. Shalom to the elect. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemal Shai, Ba'ashem, Wahara Kakadash, Shalom.